Hi, now I am going to explain about system Verilog. So before that, we are going to see about traditional test bench structure that is used in Verilog test bench. Test bench and DUT are completely separate. This is the design and this is the test bench. It is independent of each other. DUT is often treated as a black box. Black box in the sense we can't able to access the signals directly which is present inside the design. You are not able to open that and you can't able to modify that. Interaction only through one potentially large interface. So every signals, all these signals here are inside a particular interface. Okay, input and output, everything is inside a common interface here. Stimulus is applied and results are measured from the external pins only. So stimulus we are generating in the test bench and it is forced through the input ports, and based on the functionality we are getting the outputs through the output ports. In this way we are doing the traditional verification. Okay. This is okay for simple designs. For complex designs, it is virtually impossible to predict all the potential input sequences. For example, if we have a 4 bits, 4 combination of inputs we can able to generate easily. But if you have n number of inputs, let's take 20 inputs are there. So 2 power 20 combination we need to generate manually. It is very hard to generate all the possible inputs. Then how do you know when you are done the verification? So that feature is not available in the traditional method of verification. We can't come to a conclusion that now verification is complete. That means I verified all the features of the design. Okay, so that we can't say in traditional test bench architecture. Then PLI based view of the world. PLI, programming language interface. It is used to convert the non-Verilog codes into a Verilog code. So this is a mechanism used to convert the non-Verilog codes like C, C++. Okay, that functions or a task, that functionality, it is converted into a Verilog. Okay, then we are using those things in the test bench. Okay, so in Verilog we don't have that much feature, so we are depending on other coding languages. So with the help of PLI, we are able to implement those concepts. Then it is highly non-reusable. That means if one person design the test bench for a particular design, okay, so another person cannot able to use this. Okay, or for a particular design, if we develop that test bench is only used for the particular design, you can't able to use that for other designs. Okay, so it is highly non-reusable. So these are the drawbacks we have in traditional verification method. So we go for the system Verilog. The system Verilog consists of all these features. So first one is hardware description and verification language. System Verilog is used for design and as well as verification. Here we have a few constructs that will be used for implementing the design. So you should ensure that we have to use the synthesizable constructs inside the design. Then object-oriented programming. So it is a very important feature in system Verilog. It is this concept taken from C, C++. Okay, object-oriented programming. When you need, we can able to create object that is dynamic in nature. Okay, if you see the Verilog test bench, all are static in nature. So when you implement that, real hardware memory is created for that. Okay, but for doing verification, is it not necessary to create a memory? For example, 4-bit inputs you are taking. Okay, the combination is 2 power n, that is 16 combinations are there. If you want to store all the 16 combinations, it required more memory space. Okay, that is not required for doing the verification. Okay, so we are go with the object-oriented programming, that is dynamic. So whenever we need, we can create and we can force the value to the design, and we can remove that, and we can able to create a new one. Okay. Then built on top of Verilog. The system Verilog is built on top of the Verilog. Constructs from Verilog, C, C++, Vera are included in the system Verilog. Here we are going to see about new literals, data types, operators, arrays, and functional coverage and interface. So functional coverage, here it is on future. We can able to verify the functionality is covered or not. Okay, the designer will implement the functionality which is given in the spec. Okay. So in verification, we need to verify whether the designer implement all the features which is mentioned in the specification or not, okay, with the help of functional coverage. Then interface is another feature. Then inter-process synchronization. Event is one of the inter-process synchronization which is available in Verilog. Same thing we have in system Verilog. Along with that, we have mailbox and semaphore. All these are used for inter-process synchronizations. And static and dynamic constructs. Static in the sense, during the compilation time itself, memory is created for the static construct, and throughout the simulation it will be constant. Dynamic construct in the sense, it is memory is created during the runtime. Dynamically, you can able to create a memory, you can able to remove that, and you can able to change, vary the size of the memory of the construct. Those are all called dynamic construct. So in system Verilog, it supports these dynamic construct, like we have a dynamic constructs, class, dynamic array, mailbox, queue, associative array. All these things we will discuss further. Then system Verilog features, still we have some additional features that is added for consist design description. Verilog does not have, but SV has the following, like always FF. It is used to infer a sequencer logic. Then always com used to infer a combinational logic. Always latch used to infer a latch based logic. Many times Verilog infer a latch in the place of combinational logic due to coding mistake. For example, if you are implementing a combinational logic with the help of always, okay, example, you are implementing a decoder with the help of case statement. So inside the always block, you have to always add, you have to mention all the possible inputs of the decoder inside the always block. In the case, you need to mention all the alternative cases. Finally, you need to give default case. Okay, if you forget to give default, okay, during the synthesis process, it will create a latch. So to avoid that, when you use always com, here when you use always com, there is no need to give the sensitivity list. If you forget to give a default case also, it will treat as a combinational logic and it won't infer a latch during the synthesis process. These are the advantages of using these keywords. Especially we are using these keywords in the design part. Then system Verilog supports for constraints random verification, coverage driven verification, assertion based verification, complex scenario generation. So constraint random verification in the sense, if we in the real world, the inputs are coming randomly to the system. We can't predict which input is coming. Okay, so that random behavior we have to give to the system and we need to verify. So we have some construct for doing randomization, and we can able to constrain that randomization behavior with the help of constraints. For example, it is a 4-bit inputs. The input combination is 0 to 16. 16 combination you can give. Okay, so I need to give only from 0 to 10. So here we can able to constrain that random. By using randomization, we can able to randomize that, and with the help of constraint, we can able to constrain the randomization behavior. So that feature is available here. Then coverage driven verification. So I already explained about coverage. So generally there are two types of coverage. One is code coverage, another one is functional coverage. Code coverage tell how much portion of the code, design code, is verified, it is utilized. Okay, So if the designer implement lengthy code, okay, during the verification, so few part of the code is not yet attained, it is not exercised means, so that is the extra code which is written, that is not required. Okay, so we can able to check all the statements in the design code is exercised or not with the help of code coverage. And functional coverage, you can able to check the functionality of the design is verified or not. How much functionality of the design is verified, that is obtained by the functional coverage. Then assertion based verification. So for example, when I give A in normal simulation, we are checking, okay, when A equal to 1, I want to get B equal to 1. Okay. So when you give A 1, B is 1 means it is coming properly. Okay. In case when I give A equal to 1, after 2 clock cycle, I need to get B equal to 1. Until that, B value should be 0. Okay, that if I want to verify, I can go with assertion based verification. It is going to check with the temporal one, a particular time, particular values coming or not, that we can able to verify with assertion based verification. And complex scenario generation, so different scenarios, simple scenarios like write, I want to perform write to a register, I want to perform read to a register. So likewise we have different simple scenarios that by using that we can able to check. So by combining the sequences, we can able to write inside a test, and we can able to do the complex scenario. Okay. These are the features we have in system Verilog. System Verilog is nothing but a Verilog updation of Verilog. Along with this Verilog, we had system Verilog assertions, functional coverage, constraint random, and class, and miscellaneous language enhancement. Everything is there in the system Verilog. System Verilog construct summary. So system Verilog is nothing but the updation of Verilog. Verilog 1995 version has these keywords and constructs, syntaxes, and updated version of Verilog 2001. We have some additional concepts are there. So few concepts from C and C++ like class, inheritance, string, then int, short int, long int, then break, continue, return, then these operators, those things are taken from C, C++, and these are the concepts are purely on system Verilog, like test program block, clocking domains, mailbox, semaphore, assertions. All these things we are going to see in this class. So system Verilog contains Verilog, all the Verilog concepts we have in system Verilog. Along with that, we have some concepts from C, C++, and few more concepts we are going to see here. Okay, why we do verification? Okay, need to verify the design to make sure that the design is an accurate representation of the specification without any bugs. So based on the spec given, the designer will design the RTL design. Okay. So what we have to do as a verification engineer, we need to verify the RTL whether the designer implement all the specifications inside the code. With all that means all the features is designed or not, that we need to verify. Without any bug, it is working properly or not, that we need to verify. In verification process, verify modules SOCs by driving the input to check the design behavior, checking the behavior of the design by driving the correct and an error input. That means testing, in the sense testing is done after the whole process. After manufacturing the chip, the testing engineer will check whether any silicon related bugs are there. But as a verification engineer, before doing each process, we need to verify it is working properly for the proper input, and for the error scenario, if we give a particular pattern of inputs, if we want to get the error, that also we need to verify. For example, for some registers there will be a reserve bits, okay, that should not be accessible, that we should not able to write and read. Okay, that also we have to verify whether that register is reserved, that is not able to write and that is not able to read. That also we need to check. Okay. Like that, all the correct and the error scenarios we need to verify in the verification process. In verification, use test bench verification environment to determine the correctness of the design under test. Functionality of the test bench and verification environment. So these are the functionality is performed in the verification environment in the system Verilog. So generate stimulus, apply stimulus to DUT, capture the response, check for the correctness, measure progress against the overall verification code. Generate stimulus. Here we are generating the stimulus and we are forcing the stimulus to the driver. For generating stimulus, we are using a generator component. Applying stimulus to the DUT. The stimulus is received by the driver and it converts the transaction. Here in generator we are generating the signals as a transaction. The transaction is passed to the driver with the help of mailbox. It receives the transaction and it converts the transaction level signals into pin level signals and it forcing to the DUT. That is the use of the driver. Then next is capture the response. It is done by the monitor component. So from the DUT, the pin level signals are captured by the monitor and the monitor converts the pin level into transaction level and it sends to the further components like checker. Checker is used to check the correctness of the output and the monitor sends to the coverage. Then measure progress against the overall functional goals. It is done by the scoreboard. Okay. We are going to see each and every components and its uses now. So this is the advanced test bench structure. So in stimulus generator, it will generate the stimulus with the help of randomization and constraints. Okay. So here we have a regression control. So regression is nothing but running multiple test cases one by one. Once all the test cases are done with the help of this scoreboard, we can able to stop the test. So generator generate the stimulus, generate the transactions with some value and it is going to transfer the transaction to the driver with the help of mailbox. So the driver taking the transaction from the mailbox and it converts the transaction into a pin level signal and it is forcing to the appropriate pins for the DUT. Then the DUT do the actual operation and it gives the output in as a pin level. The monitor captures this output and it sends to the checker. Here beside the DUT we have a shadow model, that is a reference model. If it is simple design or a memory based design, we can directly check with the DUT. We can able to write some data and we can able to read some data, read the same data and we can verify we read data and write data as same. That means it is working fine. If some complex design, some IP or SOC means, okay, we need to develop the reference model. In reference model we can fix for this particular pattern of input, I need this particular pattern of output. Okay. So I'm forcing the same input to the DUT and the reference model. So reference model gives the expected output and the DUT gives the actual output. It is compared in the monitor receives the interface signals and it converted into transaction and it is sending to the checker. Here checker we are comparing the actual output and the expected output. Okay. So if both are same, we can tell as test case pass. So scoreboard, what it will do means it will check. For example, if I did a 10 test cases, so scoreboard will calculate how many test cases are passed and how many test cases are failed. Okay. Then coverage collector also collect the transaction, and it tells how much specification is verified or how much specification is covered, those details. For example, if we take a half adder, okay, A, B are inputs, okay, sum and carry are outputs. So sum and carry I mentioned in the coverage collector. So whether sum and carry combinations 0 0 output, 0 1 output, 1 0 output, 1 1 output. If all the combination of output if I get, it means that all the combination of all the possible combination of outputs I verified for the particular inputs. Okay, so this software is working fine. That means I verified all the possible functionality of the DUT. Okay. Then assertion. So assertion I can able to write inside the interface. So this is nothing but the interface. Inside the interface also you can able to write the assertion. If it is a master, this DUT is a master, we need to connect with a slave and we need to verify this master behaves properly or not. Next is transaction and transaction level modeling. Representation of arbitrary activity in the device bounded by time has attributes. So here I told generator generate the stimulus as a transaction and it's sent to the driver through the mailbox. So transaction in the sense it has its attributes. Okay, so if we take a half adder A, B and sum and carry, all are attributes. Okay. So during the stimulus generation I can able to create a memory. Okay. So transaction is nothing but a class. Okay, I create a class as a transaction. Inside that I put all the input and output signals. Whenever I need, I instantiate that class, okay, inside the generator. If I give a new of, a memory is allocated for that transaction. So I begin here. You can able to create a transaction. Okay. So memory is created for all the attributes. So you can able to give the values for the attributes inside the transaction. Once I send that to the driver, it is sent. Okay. So I can close. This is the end time. I can remove the memory. So again, I can able to create a new transaction in the generator. A model written at the transaction level. Transactions provide a medium for moving the data around without doing low-level conversions. So the help of the transaction is without doing assigning the values as a pin level, we are creating as a transaction level. Okay. So to move that, we need a medium. That medium we are using a mailbox. So keep as much of the testable structure at the transaction level as possible. So when you keep as much as a transaction level, so transaction is dynamic in behavior. Okay. So it is very useful to move one place to another. Okay, it will create, and if you did the complete the process, we can able to vanish that one. So easier to write transaction level component than RTL. Easier to debug transaction level component than RTL. So these are the advantages of keeping the signals in the as a transaction level. More opportunities for the use when we go with the transaction level. So wherever we need that, we just instantiate and we can able to create a object for it. Okay. This is reusability is high when you go with the transaction level. and we need a standard interface. We are using Mailbox as an interface and standard API, application programming interface. So get and put all the methods associated with the Mailbox. Using this API, we can able to put the transaction into a Mailbox, and we can able to get the transaction in the driver. Okay. These are the APIs used to put the transaction and get the transactions. So one thing, as first as we need to keep the signals as a transaction in the test bench. Whenever we deal with the DUT, we need to convert the transaction into interface level, pin level signals, and we need to post to that to the design. Okay.